many patriotic Deltan, the deciding factor for who succeeds Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa as governor of Delta State should be about the comparative capacity of the aspirants to provide greater social infrastructural development and engineer a robust economy to better the lives of the people. On this, there is no argument that Ologun David Edevbie best fits the bill. This is because of his well-known professional background, the knowledge he brings from the private sector, local and international, and the huge experience he has garnered working with the past 3 and present governors of the state as well as in the presidency. Really, if Delta PDP truly prioritized the development of the state above mere acquisition and control of power by some individuals for vain self-ego and gain the choice before them, is actually a no-brainer. Deltans can see that of all the PDP aspirants, Edevbie is the only one with articulate and visionary development plan for the state, while others are mostly relying on endorsements, the favor of the governor, and the intimidation of delegates with the instruments of the state and the party executive. Deltans across all divides are troubled seeing the glaring intent on discounting Edevbie's huge and proven capacity, which Okowa has severally attested to, for various low-value reasons being suggested. Some say it is because Okowa still nurses grudge against Edevbie for contesting against him in the 2014 primaries. Others say he wants to disgrace the UPU and the rebels over the same 2014 grudge. Some others say he wants to have a pliable successor he can control to enjoy a third term by proxy. Some say he wants to prove that he can do what Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan couldn't do, yet others say he wants to bring down Chief James Ibori to enthrone himself as Grand Commander of Delta politics. The latter suggestion is given fillip by the sponsored propaganda of tying Edevbie's aspiration to Chief Ibori person and the wheeled media attacks on Ibori by even the Okowa's aides, while he turns blind eye or justifies the insults as politics. If truth be told, Okowa is as much, possibly even more, an Ibori man than Edevbie. Many others like Senator James Manager, DSP Ovioma Agege, Honorable Ndudu Elumelu, to mention but a few, also ascended their various political heights through their association with Ibori. The list includes Delta Speaker Right Honorable Francis Oborewori, whom he first appointed Special Assistant on Youth Development in 2003 before Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan, also Ibori associate, appointed him Special Advisor on Land Security between 2007 and 2013 and 2010. Ibori saw value in all of them, brought them into his administration, and supported them to grow politically. It therefore beggars logic and good faith, especially for persons in Dr. Okowa's service, to be abusing Ibori on account of him expressing or suggesting a preference for a member of the political family to emerge governor of the state. It must be said that unlike some of the associates who were prompted from the nursery, Edevbie from youth had made his mark in international scene as a development expert, managing multi-million pounds investments of the Commonwealth Development Corporation in India, the Philippines, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and various other Asian and Pacific countries, from where Ibori saw his capacity and value and invited him home to serve his state. The first computer ever used in Delta state government was brought by Edevbie, and his insistence on modernization for greater efficiency led to the computerization of the state public service under Project Delta. As in developed countries where things are organized, when he arrived in 1999, he asked for the state development plan, but there was none. His insistence led the administration of Chief Ibori to commission a 20-year development master plan for the state, which has, however, been abandoned, while Lagos, which borrowed a leaf from Delta, maintained theirs through successive administrations to achieve their reputation as center of excellence we all admire. As a development economist, Edevbie took the challenge to raise the state revenue from 6 billion naira in that 1999 to over 60 billion naira within 4 years, which enabled the funding of capital projects at the beginning of the current democratic dispensation. That revenue, even not being enough, he provided the technical and intellectual content for the actualization of 13% oil derivation, which before then was just 3%. He returned under Dr. Okowa to again fight for increment in the accrual by insisting on deduction of the 13% before the federal government makes transfers to the excess crude account. The 13% fund informed the creation of the Sopadec, and it is interesting to see that those who control the fund today are not only using it to flaunt self-affluence, but even currently seeming to be deploying it to sponsor opposition against Edevbie and attacks on Ibori, rather than using it for the oil communities it is meant for. Their only reason for fighting Edevbie may be because he is well known to be strict about compliance to financial regulations and against profligacy. As Commissioner of Finance, he insisted on computerized processing of contracts as against paddy system, and also introduced the cash budget system, which ensured that contracts are awarded subject to foreseeable means of payment in order to control state indebtedness. Some of our chieftains do not enjoy these international best practices in financial management, but they are the norm which informs the advancement of the developed nations and are imperative for any nation or state that wishes to grow. It was for this professional discipline and resourcefulness that President Umaru Yar'Adua first appointed Edevbie Director of Finance and Strategy of his campaign, and later his Principal Secretary, to double function as Chief of Staff at the Nigerian Presidency. It was from there that Edevbie provided answer to the Niger Delta crisis through his consocialization of the Presidential Amnesty Program, which helped to douse militancy by creating accommodation in government for the militant camp commanders and redirecting the energy of the militant youth towards education and acquisition of professional skills, thus achieving peace in the region to restore Nigeria's oil production output. My viewers at home, this is all we can take for now. Thanks and God bless. Ensure you subscribe to our channel. Make this report very spread this report across all media platforms. Yes, you can share this report across all Okowa, Ibori, Edevbie, Fred, Edore political platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, and name. Thanks and God bless as you make this report very as you share this report. Okay, and bye for now. Do join us in the other news, please. Okay.